Larry David on Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight.
We're now getting a look at the body camera video showing exactly what led up to the shooting death of a 16-year-old boy in Dayton. This is that video here. You can see officers rolling up to the scene of what's called a pop-up party along Negley Place. Officers make a beeline for the teenager, who then is standing in the road, and as he starts to run, officers chase him. Now, we've slowed the video down, but pause it before he is shot. Police say the teenager had a gun in his right hand. They then opened fire as he started to run towards the officer.
Officers and an off-duty nurse rendered first aid until the arrival of Dayton Fire Department at about 8:10 p.m. The subject in this case was removed from the scene to a local hospital right around 8:14, where he succumbed to his injuries.
Now, police say they recovered this weapon at the scene. It was the handgun that had been modified to be fully automatic. Police Chief Afzal says it had 31 live rounds in it. Tonight, community leaders are speaking out after a teenager was shot and killed Saturday night by an on-duty Dayton police officer, which is that video that we had just seen. This is happening just a weekend after 6 shootings involved 17 people, some who were young adults and even teenagers. Jenna Lee Bork is now live from downtown Dayton tonight. So, Jenna Lee, what are you hearing needs to change?
Elise, I'm hearing that there are a lot of things going on in communities that are contributing to this violence. It's not just one isolated thing. I spoke to the outreach coordinator from the Doc Ellis Foundation, who's well connected with West Dayton in particular, who says city officials and community leaders need to get together to figure this out.
Some community leaders only tend to show up when a bad situation happens. Why can't we show up before the situation turns bad? They're never coming out to the neighborhoods, talking to the people, asking them what they need. Asking these kids, what do they need?
City officials and community leaders letting their voices be heard on Monday after 2 weekends of gun violence, much of it involving teens and young adults. The most recent situation happening Saturday, which left a 16-year-old boy dead after an officer-involved shooting.
You know, we have a problem, and evidence is here and clear as far as our communities are concerned. Our children need mentorship. They need conflict resolution skills. They need the skills to help them understand that they have value. They need safe places to play.
Much of the recent violence has happened on the west side of Dayton. Michelle McCown-Luster, the Doc Ellis Foundation outreach coordinator, is well connected to that area, and she says kids and teens have nothing to do because so much has closed in recent years.
There used to be like little putt-putt golfs around here for kids to go do, play video games, things like that. All that stuff has been gone. It's gone.
Different organizations offer youth programs, especially in the summer, but McCown-Luster says many of them don't have activities they want to do and aren't run by people who understand the life experiences some youth have.
You got to meet kids where they're at. They're not wanting to talk to someone that's never been where they came from.
Dayton Mayor Jeffrey Mims announced a new program, Violence Interruption. Mims says other cities have benefited from it, and McCown-Luster says the Doc Ellis Foundation would be willing to work with the city on this and more.
These programs involve focusing on concentrated areas of violence and using trained professionals who are culturally sensitive and aware to some of the challenges that we have as far as addressing our young people.
McCown-Luster says she believes that officials, community leaders, law enforcement, and teenagers need to get together to have a roundtable to truly find solutions. She adds that adults need to start listening to teenagers, allow them to ask the questions, and lead the conversation. Back to you in studio.
Now, the shooting is just one of many from over the past few weeks, and we first told you last week police were concerned about these pop-up parties at vacant homes in the city. Lydia Bice asked the police chief about this very issue today.
Saturday night's officer-involved shooting also began at a large party type of gathering in West Dayton. It was also outside of a vacant home, similar to the June 24th incident, where 7 people were shot. A 22-year-old woman lost her life, and an 18-year-old is still in critical condition. That's why police were out patrolling this past Saturday after receiving a tip that a large party was taking place on Negley Place. Now, today I asked the chief what all the city is doing to prevent violence at these large party type of gatherings.
And what do you think the city or your department, anyone can do to prevent them from, it seems like these groups just relentlessly keep targeting vacant properties in our area. What do you think?
Well, obviously, cities do a lot of things by taking vacant properties down. Obviously, it's a long process because taking each one of the properties down takes a long time. I know we have a lot of federal funding, so I think cities are already working on that part of it.
When I spoke to the Dayton Tenant Union last week, they told me that vacant properties are often targets for these large parties because typically the owners don't live in our area. Back to you.
We now know tonight 3 people are dead and 2 remain in the hospital after a shooting near the University of Cincinnati. Chelsea Sick is at UC Medical Center and has an update on the victims' conditions.
Well, Cincinnati police tell us those 2 victims are stable here at UC Medical Center. Police tell us all 5 of those victims are adult men, but we don't know their exact ages. University of Cincinnati police tell us they don't believe any of those people are affiliated with UC. Investigators spent the entire morning and most of this afternoon collecting evidence outside of a home on East University Avenue. It's about 12 blocks from UC's main campus, and it's where a lot of students live. Cincinnati police officers were patrolling the area when they heard several gunshots early this morning. Officers found 4 victims at that scene. A 5th drove to the hospital. Ronald Colton lives near this crime scene. He's used to hearing about shootings in Cincinnati, but not on his street.
And you hear about, stuff going on all around in Cincinnati and a variety of different communities. But then when it comes to knocking on your front door, it really opens your eyes up a little bit, Then you get to thinking about your family, you get to thinking about your community.
Police told us earlier this morning that they had 1 person in custody for questioning. At this point, we don't know if that person is facing any charges. Anyone with any information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. The number is 513-352-3040.
Well, nice day across the Miami Valley, calm, cool conditions, but over the weekend we did see some thunderstorms. Most of the severe activity was up in northern northeast Ohio, which brought 1 tornado, confirmed EF0 tornado, which was in Huron County. So that makes 63 tornadoes for 2024. That's a new record. 62 was the previous record in 1992, and it's just July 1st. So we've already surpassed that record, and we do have some active weather in the forecast. But you can see 2023 was at 60 tornadoes, 2019 49 tornadoes. So again, new record for the most tornadoes per year in Ohio after an EF0 in northern Ohio over the weekend. 60s across the area right now. We got 64 in Dayton, 62 in Troy, 65 in Sydney. Tonight we're going to drop into the mid-50s, 56 for our overnight low. So nice, cool night. But as I mentioned, we have some storms on the way. I'll time it all out for you coming up in just a bit.
Thousands are expected to come out to Centerville for the Americana Festival. In fact, the 2-day event downtown includes a parade and fireworks. Kasha Hancock spoke to the Centerville community about what they're most looking forward to. Kasha, what do they have to say?
Elise, as you can see, people have already started setting up their chairs to get a good spot for the parade. The city says they're expecting about 80,000 people between Wednesday and Thursday.
I'm really excited about seeing my sister in the parade.
All ages gearing up for another year of the exciting Americana Festival.
I mean, if you look down East Franklin, all the seats are taken for the most part going down the road as far as seats, people saving and reserving seats for the parade.
The 2-day event starts July 3rd at Centerville High School with a live concert and fireworks to follow, with the parade, auto show, 5K run, and more fireworks happening on July 4th.
We take our dog in it and our whole family, and we've got 3 or 4 trucks that go through. We always like to give people signs, candy. We love to see all the kids and everything.
Mallory Smart tells me her father's business, Roof Smart, plans to participate in the big day for their 4th year.
We're gonna have free hot dogs and a bunch of slushies and other beverages. It'll be great.
Community members say they're grateful for the opportunity to have fun in their backyard.
It's nice to have that in the area and have that available for people to attend. I think it's great to see the community getting involved with that and supporting it as much as they do.
To learn more about the Americana Festival, you can visit their website, which I've linked to the web version of this story on Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Well, the 4th of July holiday is just days away. Fireworks are likely this week, but there are several cities around the Miami Valley that have actually banned private fireworks shows. Cities putting the bans in place to limit injuries, property damage, and even fires. Dayton, Trotwood, Fairborn, Oakwood, Kettering, Beaver Creek, Harrison Township, and Germantown do not allow personal fireworks. Centerville, Troy, and Moraine all allow residents to set off their own fireworks. Make sure to double check with your individual city about the regulations surrounding fireworks. And if you don't want to go do your own fireworks, well, and you'd rather see a show, we've got you covered when it comes to that as well. We've compiled a full list of all the fireworks shows happening and celebrations on our website. Just look at Dayton247now.com. Local agencies receiving settlement funding to combat the opioid crisis. Who is now eligible for that money and how much they could actually get?
Plus, tracking our next weather maker, which will bring the potential for severe storms to the Miami Valley. I'll time it out for you coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's what I know.
13 agencies across Montgomery County will receive settlement funding to address the opioid crisis here in our community. County commissioners made that announcement earlier today. Agencies could get up to $200,000 in funding to provide support to those affected by opioid addiction. Dayton Metro Library, Miami Valley Hospital Foundation, and Goodwill Easter Seals Miami Valley are among those eligible for the money. Well, the opportunity to apply for FEMA assistance for Ohioans impacted by the deadly March tornadoes is coming to a close. The application period for federal assistance ends at midnight. This assistance is available for both homeowners and renters. Those looking to apply can head to disasterassistance.gov or by calling that number on your screen. When kids are fed, they are fueled to thrive. But for many kids that rely on schools for their meals, summer can be challenging. Dayton 24/7 Now is partnering with Feeding America for Sinclair Care's Summer Hunger Relief. Scan the QR code to help provide meals for children and families here in the Miami Valley.
Well, it was beautiful today, well below normal temperatures, and we also saw that low humidity. It kind of felt like fall today, but climbing temperatures, they start tomorrow. It's going to feel like summer again, and then unsettled weather returns. Wednesday through Friday, rounds of rain, thunderstorms. There is the potential for some strong to severe storms. On Wednesday, that's the day we're watching first. We have a level 2 threat for severe storms for the majority of the Miami Valley. And with storms that do develop Wednesday afternoon, evening, we do have a low end potential for them to be strong to severe. Damaging wind gusts would be the main concern. I will say it's not looking like, at this point at least, for widespread severe weather. That being said, we'll have to monitor things closely. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. We got a cold front moving through. Those are the ingredients that we often have to produce at least thunderstorms and potentially some strong to severe storms. So high pressure in place right now. That's keeping things nice and quiet. But as we head into Wednesday, we'll start to see this system approach us. Eventually, a warm front lifting through, temperatures climb, and then we'll start to see those thunderstorms. So upper 80s tomorrow, still pretty quiet, but by our Wednesday afternoon and evening, we will start to see a line of showers and storms. Now, this isn't depicting much, but very well could see a line of storms developing, especially into the evening, posing that severe risk. So for right now, stay weather aware on Wednesday with that potential for strong to severe storms, and then another round of rain and storms for our 4th of July.
President Biden's poor debate showing has Democrats around the country now facing some anxious times. As Matt Galka tells us, the president's campaign is trying to calm some nerves and continue on.
Folks, I know I'm not a young man, but I know how to do this job.
Joe Biden's campaign out with a new ad Monday, leaning into the president's energy at a rally the day after his disastrous debate performance.
When you get knocked down, you get back up.
Biden spent the weekend with his family as the hot takes urging him to exit the race piled up. Democrats acknowledged it's been tough going since Thursday night.
So this makes it a difficult situation for everybody, but there are very honest and serious and rigorous conversations taking place at every level of our party.
White House aides told Axios the 81-year-old president is sharpest between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Meanwhile, his family reportedly united behind an effort to have him stay in the race. Some of his strongest support came from his son Hunter, and his wife Jill told Vogue they will not let those 90 minutes define the 4 years he's been president.
Everything we have to do is
Republicans are trying to capitalize on the Democrat hand-wringing in down-ballot races, tying Democrat incumbents to Biden's poor debate performance. A post-debate CBS poll showed 72% of people didn't think Biden had the mental and cognitive health to serve as president. His allies are publicly backing him while shifting some of the blame.
Yes, it was a bad performance. I've been around these things. I've been a part of debate preparation before, and I know when I see what I call preparation overload. And that's exactly what was going on the other night.
Biden has also tried to reassure skittish donors that he does have what it takes to stay in the race. He hit fundraisers in the Hamptons and New Jersey over the weekend and has another one scheduled in Virginia this week. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Galka.
The Supreme Court is now punting Donald Trump's immunity case in a 6-3 decision today. The justices are sending Trump's case back to lower court in Washington. Now, the ruling means Trump won't face trial for his alleged attempts to overturn election results until after this year's presidential election. The High Court says Trump has immunity from prosecution for officials' actions, but not for private conduct. President Biden is now criticizing the ruling, saying this decision means there are virtually no limits on a president's actions.
And it's a dangerous precedent because the power of the office will no longer be constrained by the law, even including the Supreme Court of the United States. The only limits will be self-imposed by the president alone.
Trump denies wrongdoing and argues all presidents should have immunity or else they'll fear making decisions over prosecution. A live look now from our Eco Plumber Skycam. Let's send things out to Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters.
Well, I feel like everyone should get out and enjoy this beautiful evening. It is really nice out here on our Watson's weather patio, feeling like fall, low humidity. We got some rain and storms on the way. Now, we'll take the rain. We need the rain. We still have, as our latest update from, as you can see, our drought monitor here, we do have right now moderate drought conditions. That's what you see in tan. Rest of us abnormally dry, basically a precursor to drought conditions. So we can use the rain. We got some on the way. Right now, models indicating that we could potentially see between 1 to 2 inches of rainfall across the Miami Valley, of course, with some heavier downpours, maybe some spots with heavier totals, and of course, maybe some spots with less. But either way, we should see some good soaking rain by the end of this week from Wednesday through Friday. I'll talk more about that. Take a look at our 7-day coming up here in just a bit.
We'll be right back after the break. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Take Dayton is sponsored by Thrush & Son Complete Home Improvement.
Well, we now know the person who went missing in a pond last night has been found dead. Assistant Fire Chief Brad French says the body was found about 11:30 this morning. Rescue crews were called out yesterday evening for a water rescue off of Gateway Drive. The person's identity is unknown at the time. The 68-year-old woman hit by a car while riding her bike has died. That crash happened last Tuesday in the 8000 block of Christie Gate Lane. Huber Heights police say the driver drove off but was found several houses down from the scene. Now the driver could face charges. This remains under investigation. And this man you actually see here behind me will now spend more than a decade behind bars after pleading guilty to the rape of a 12-year-old child. Prosecutors say 49-year-old Augustine Rosales Mendez was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison today. Now he is designated as a Tier 3 sex offender and will now be required to register every 90 days for the rest of his life if released from prison. Rosales was not legally here in the country and will be deported upon release. Tonight, some residents living in this Miamisburg apartment complex are displaced after a fire destroyed their homes. Now, it happened early this morning at Austin Springs Apartments on Springboro Pike. Everyone was able to get out safely, but one person was taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. Assistant Fire Chief Brandon Barnett says the unit where the fire began will require extensive repairs before residents can move back in. And Fairborn is now imposing a 6-month suspension on the sale of recreational marijuana within the city. The city council passed that resolution just hours ago tonight. Now it'll pause the issuing and processing of permits to sellers. Several cities across the Miami Valley are already imposed that temporary suspension, even though it was legal statewide. Ohio is one of 20 states in the U.S. that allows cities to decide whether or not they will ban marijuana dispensaries.